first thing my understanding is that German Shepherd named Tango is not correct, and we need to correct that. Is that right?
That's correct.
Is it breed or name that's we're corrected?
The name, it was Roscoe?
Roscoe.
And was that just a mistake, or is there a different dog named Tango?
That I do not know. There's half a dozen German Shepherds in our neighborhood.
Okay,
So
I'm more concerned about, do you own a different German
Nope.
Shepherd? Okay.
Nope.
And how do you choose to spell Roscoe?
Roscoe.
C-O-E. I didn't know I put an E at the end. All right, so that's first thing, is we're now talking about Roscoe's German Shepherd. And then for the plaintiff here, for the people of the state of Michigan, we have.
Devontae McCall.
Okay. And it's my understanding that we may be proceeding on this with some sort of understanding. You want to place your understanding on the record, and then we'll sort of formalize it.
Thank you. There's been an agreement between ourselves and the respondent, Mr. Matthews, that he's agreeing to pay $500 in restitution to Matthew Gentry, the owner of the livestock that was killed by this German Shepherd. In exchange for that, we will not be asking the court to declare this dog dangerous at this time.
All right, so it almost makes more sense that essentially that's the agreement, but then we're not proceeding as a show cause, because first part of a show cause is declaring that the animal dangerous. So here is the good news, Mr. Matthews. You got to listen to me talk for a little bit, because I want you to sort of really understand, you know, what we're doing here and how close this came. So the ending is good here. So in other words, when we're done here today, you're going to be able to go over to the shelter and pick Roscoe up, okay? So show cause hearing usually proceeds in one of two ways. One is I hear evidence and I order that Roscoe's no longer your dog and belongs now to the Allegan County Sheriff's Department, which usually, you know, ends poorly for the animal. Or two, that the dog is declared dangerous, and then we still work out some sort of compromise where the dog goes home with you, but then essentially that dog is on dog probation for the rest of its life, all right? We came up short of that, right? That's good news for Roscoe, good news for you, and it seems like as best as we can do, good news for your neighbor, because your neighbor is going to get compensated for their property loss. And then the thing I just want to tell you is, you know, it's never good when I know a dog, right? So we don't want Roscoe coming up in front of here, because it kind of won't be Roscoe's, you know, first strike. It'd be more like Roscoe's second strike, and it'll be all the more easier for me to make some sort of ruling that, you know, is not good for Roscoe. So I want to be sort of clear about that, because really, you know, they call it destroying property. But it sounds to me, from what I can figure out, by property, we mean live animals, probably chickens. And I'll tell you right now, if when people are being cynical, what they say is, once that dog gets that taste for that fresh blood, they're probably going to keep doing things like that. So now it's kind of on you to make sure that, you know, he doesn't have those opportunities. Because if he does it again, then he comes real close to being like what we would call a menace to the neighborhood. And when the dog is a menace, that's where the courts have to step in and do something about the dog, and that, you know, it's not what we want here. So you're sort of good with sort of how close we came here to the danger zone with Roscoe and what's going to happen going forward. All right. I just wanted to get some, just because I'm writing this up, to get a name again. Going to pay $500 restitution, so you're going to actually pay that to the prosecutor's office, who will then so in exchange for those considerations, we're not proceeding on the show cause at this time. All right, so this show cause is going to be dismissed, because you're going to follow up on your end of things, which is paying that restitution. I didn't put a time on that, because this is going to be in a reasonable time frame. You have that ability?
Yes, sir.
Because the other thing is, we don't really want to drag this out. We're going to stop the show cause. We want to, you know, close it out on your end too. And then the Sheriff's Department will explain it to you, but shortly after this, they're going to make a phone call over to the shelter to explain that Roscoe can be released to you when you show up there, right? That's the plan, all right. Anything further? Anybody else wants to put on record?
No.
Sir.
All right.